Hi, this is Tennille Jancola, and this is my Module 5, Understanding My Community, Hoxie Community Schools. No customs and traditions. Hoxie is a farming and ranching community with its economy grounded in the agriculture industry. Harvest and summer and fall are a driving force behind social actions and activities in Hoxie. Fall harvest impacts our school. Many of our students come from farming families and they are expected to help during harvest at some point. Some years it's worse than others where they miss school, but normally there's going to be a time in there when those kids are gone quite a bit. Hoxie has several churches which impact the community a great deal. However, no one church has more influence than the other when it comes to religious views and different things of that nature. Change is handled with a grain of salt. It really depends on what you're asking the community to change. If they feel that it's going to benefit them, if it's something that is needed, something that is warranted, then they will back you 100%. However, if they feel like the change is something Hoxie doesn't need, it's not going to really impact them, it's not going to be something they're interested in, they will oppose you 100%. So you're either at one end of the spectrum. There's really not a whole lot of in between. No population characteristics. Hoxie is in Sheridan County. The population of Hoxie is approximately 1,251. We are predominantly a white community with 91%. We do have a small Hispanic community, it's growing every year. That number increases, and we have a small Native American at 3% also. The median age is 43.6 years in Hoxie, with the highest percentage of ages in Hoxie being 75 years old or older. Hoxie is a town where many of the residents, they grew up here. If they left, they came back. They raised their families here. Their families are raising their families here, and it's just built upon a lot of the elderly generation who are still with us and haven't left. The educational side of Hoxie is 87% of the community are high school graduates or higher, with 19% of them earning a bachelor's degree. The occupations here in Hoxie being an agricultural community, most forms of employment center around agriculture. Either people own their own farms and they are farmers or ranchers and have a lot of cattle, or they are working at one of the three implement companies that Hoxie has. We also have the retail side. We do have a Dollar General. We have a grocery store and a couple of convenience stores. We also have the banking is here. We have 3 banks in our small town, and we also have 2 restaurants. So there's a variety of occupations within our community. Our communication, the way that we communicate within our school is we do have a school website. We also have social media, Facebook and Twitter. There is a local sports broadcasters. They have an online broadcasting system of Open Spaces Sports. They broadcast the sports and televise them, or they have them on the computer, or you can listen to them for not only just Hoxie, but for the surrounding area. USD 412, we have a weekly newspaper that is put out newsletter that's emailed out to the community by our superintendent. Anybody in the community can be on that email. If you are a parent of a student, you definitely have that coming to you. We also have a phone messaging and texting system where if there are any updates, any emergency alerts, or school closings, then a phone message, you get called or you get a text, or you can get both from the superintendent. Hoxie does not have its own radio or TV stations. However, we do use the major local networks to post information, and we do have a school channel provided by the local cable network. We have 2 public newspapers, the Hoxie Times and the Hoxie Sentinel, that cover all issues going on in Hoxie. The foreign language impact is very minimal because our town is primarily an English-speaking community. Very few of our Hispanic residents cannot speak or read English, so we don't really even have the need for translating a lot of our information. Most of the people in Hoxie get their information from either the newspaper or from social media. There are many community groups within Hoxie. We have the Masons, a recently started Booster Club, a Knights of Columbus, a Hoxie Recreational that is huge in our town, various church organizations, a couple of kids' church after school organizations, and several youth groups. And we have a kids' wrestling club. These groups, they really don't have an influence on school policy or curriculum or materials, but they do weigh in with their opinion if they do not like something. The community of Hoxie and the school work very well together, making sure the students' best interests are in mind. The community does depend on us to provide an education, preparing the students for life after high school. And we as the school depend on the community for resources needed to provide that education, including those that keep our students safe. The leadership within the school is definitely top down. We have this Board of Education, which is 7 members. We have our superintendent and principals, our athletic director, teachers and staff, and so on. In our community, we have 3 city commissioners, a mayor, our city manager, the city clerk, the city treasurer, all of the city officials and county, and then you have the county side as well. The persons most influenced in Hoxie would definitely be the community members, the parents of our school, our students, and our teachers. And every situation requires getting in touch with the proper leadership. If it's a school situation, you get in touch with the school, starting with the principal of the school to the superintendent to the Board of Education. And if it's a city situation, you get in touch with the city leaders and city officials in that regard. Our community leaders, thinking about just on the school aspect, our community leaders within our community are very involved in our school. The leadership at the school is capable of handling most situations if there is a clear resolution at the end. If there isn't, then things get a little bit rocky at times. Our current superintendent is more likely to jump in and come up with a plan than is our high school principal. He is a very proactive superintendent, so he always has good ideas on how to handle things. Our superintendent is also very good about making sure he's visible to the public and throughout the school. All the students from K-12 know him. He attends regular community meetings, he stays in touch with local leadership, and he's currently working with the community on strategic planning for the community. Our leadership has many avenues outside of our school. The resources are good. They have lots of connections, and our superintendent is good about putting such resources to good use. He definitely is an outside of the box thinker and looks for avenues that aren't just local, but he'll always start local first. The economic conditions within Hoxie, agriculture is the driving force behind the economy. It is our mainstay. The median average income for a household is $48,988. We have a 6.9% of our community is considered to be living in poverty, and our unemployment rate is 2%. So really for our small town, all of our residents are pretty much employed and working and able to have a standard of living. Land use is mainly for agriculture. However, a housing development has been established outside of town, and the average property value within Hoxie is $83,500. The political structure in Hoxie is considered a conservative community. The political affiliation is mainly Republican, and politics are the driving force of our funding and the education at Hoxie. We are very dependent upon that. Hoxie School District alone, the state aid to our district this year is estimated at $2,588,615, and it gives us at this district $4,006 per pupil. Our annual budget of $2,929,187 is what we have for this school year, 2017-2018, and 30% of that is being set aside for like the LOB and property tax assessment. There has been very little interracial confrontation in our school, as we are not a very diverse school. Being dominantly a white community, our school is that way as well. However, lately we are having more of a Hispanic culture move in, which our students don't really know how to interact. They don't know the culture. They aren't really sure how to, what's right, what's not right, what can we say, what can't we say. So that kind of gives us some issues at times. Hoxie has no gang activity. There are several cliques established within the school and the community alike. Both of them are considered upper class versus those that are deemed lower class. Discrimination is somewhat prevalent, mainly because of the social class competition. Extra sources of information that we provide. Student records are, of course, open to any parent or any thing like that, for they can view their records of their student. A parent perception survey is given, the school website, the telephone book, the Census Bureau, Hoxie Chamber of Commerce, and monthly school board meetings, which they meet the second Monday of each month. And those minutes are printed in the school news, in the community newspapers, as well as posted throughout the school. The power structures, the community and school work well together. Our superintendent meets regularly with community leaders and organizations. And of course, the power structure of the school is from a top down: Board of Education, superintendent, principal, teachers, parents to students. And it is much like that within our community as well. We do not do a good job at handling multicultural issues that do arise. As I said earlier, when we have students of different cultures move in, the students that are there really don't know how to handle that. They don't know how to interact appropriately sometimes. And I believe that's because we have a lack of diversity. We have a lack of knowledge of the cultures that are present, and the lack of multicultural education within the district. To measure public opinion, we do use school surveys. They are sent out via email to assess the public's opinion, based most likely on bond issues or grants that could come up, and community and parents' perception of the school and how that's going to be used, and different things like that. We did give a parent perception survey. We did give a survey on SurveyMonkey to gauge the public opinion on a new locker room and wrestling room that the school wanted to build and put in. And there's currently a survey has been sent out on the proposal of a new playground at our elementary school. Thank you for taking the time to listen to my Module 5 and learn a little bit more about the community where I'm at.